Welcome back, Miss Jamie. It feels like I haven't seen you in forever, even though I believe it was like last week, but
Yeah,
time seems to be going pretty fast right now
I
on our planet.
well, right now, as of the recording of this, we're in October. So,
October, fourth quarter.
yes, fourth quarter. Woohoo! Let's hear what you guys I would love to hear what everyone's goals are for your fourth quarter.
Hmm,
Um, Especially whenever you're liking, subscribing, and giving us a 5-star review on the Cleaning Business Podcast.
definitely.
And what are we talking about today? Because
We
I
are
have
going to talk
not had
about
this happen.
you've not had it. I've had it happen. I've
Yes.
had it happen two ways, and I'll explain both scenarios.
Okay, perfect.
And today's topic, and you guys, this is a juicy bit here. I don't know if
Hmm.
it's a drum roll or not, but it says when your cleaner quits midday. There's a couple of scenarios that can go down. Um, and it's always a crisis moment, and how you handle it speaks volumes to the rest of your team. So this can happen when you are out of the field and your cleaning tech just walks off the job. This can happen when you're in the job and you're working with a bunch of cleaning techs and the person has a meltdown for whatever reason, and you have to pull off the job because they didn't have a vehicle, and then you have to drive them all the way back into town.
Yeah.
Happen.
Why they're right next to you, like
Right.
the
And then
awkward
it
silence.
threw all of the rest of the day off because this person had a meltdown. There's just they get overwhelmed. I've had them walk off the job in the middle of a top to bottom deluxe cleaning where they had an anxiety attack because they said they could do it. And in reality, they just said, "This is above my pay grade. I need help." Let's see.
Oh, I just,
Yeah, or they get in a confrontation with the homeowner. I've had them walk off the job for that because the homeowner told them to F off and all these other things, hence the reason for the code of conduct policy that we have in place. What else? I think
I
that
have,
like happened 5 or 6 times.
well, that's great because I had you as my mentor. Tell me about these things that could possibly happen. So I put that in uh my employee handbook basically. And then I shot it over to Sarah and asked her, can you help me make an employee handbook? This is what I want it to include. So these things happen to you. And I was fortunate enough, I hired you as my to help build my business here because you've been there. I have
Right.
not, and I feel like maybe some of these policies have saved me in a lot of instances. And then there's instances that I have learned that you're just, I had to go through the threshold of doing myself, like, unemployment and, uh,
Workman's comp.
yeah, yeah. But quitting midday in the middle of a clean, knock on wood, I have not had that yet. And maybe it is because I have some policies in place from others that have
Right.
been there, done that.
There can be a lot in any workplace. Back in the day when I worked for Nordy's, that's Nordstrom's for those of you who don't know that is. It's Nordstrom's is commission based. So I worked in the lingerie
Oh, I didn't know
department.
that.
So I got to see everything. I mean, we were intimate with each other because I was helping to fit you for bras mostly. 9 times, what did they say? 8 out of 10 have the wrong size bra. But what I witnessed when I was just a lonely salesperson there is I watched two salespeople get in an argument over a customer, and there was a pushing and shoving, and then a couple punches thrown.
Oh,
What caused the alarm, because I came from corporate structure, most of it management, and they just dismissed it and shrugged their shoulders. So I had to go to the store manager, which of course got me blackballed for a lot of things. I said, look, these two people just got in a physical altercation on the sales floor and they threw punches. You need to pull them off the floor. I had to tell them how to do their job, and they need to go home for the day and or get suspended for X amount of days because nobody wanted to do it because it's all commission, and these were the top two salespeople in that
oh,
department. So they didn't
oh
want
my
sales.
God.
So I'm like, if you don't do this, then I'm going to go above your head. And I was the one who made them get suspended. They each got like a 5 day non-paid vacation. But it just was like, and I was the manager. This was me in my 30s. The manager was like 20. I had no experience
Oh, yeah.
whatsoever. And I was the one who broke it up. The poor customers like, get away from me. And they were like throwing punches over, this person was buying La Perla bras. If you've ever purchased a La Perla bra, they're like $800 to $1,200 each.
Oh my
And
goodness.
yeah, it's like it's we won't even go into retail theory right there. But so there was a lot of
Wow.
things going on that shouldn't have happened, and the manager, I shouldn't have had to do the manager's job. So conflict does happen. We had conflict a lot at TGI Fridays when I was in management. I watched people get in fistfights over parking spots. And then they would like brush themselves off and start to walk in the restaurant like, you can't come in today. And they're like, why? I'm like, because I just witnessed you get in a fist fight over a parking spot. There are 5,000 parking spots in this shopping center. You can take one of those. It just, people get set off really easy. So there's conflict. As
Right,
far as having a
right.
cleaning tech walk off a job, I've had that happen too. And you're just like,
Before
what
the
led up
day
to it?
started, I had one quit. So, but that was before they were at the house, like actual
Right.
house. And I could just imagine if you're at a standard, just maintenance, biweekly clean, weekly clean or something, and they just are in their own head and just walk off the job. Or whatever, I couldn't
Or
just.
they decide to have their own little party on the job. There. I think back to all of the thousands of people that I've either hired and or they've gone through my business. Either I've known them in management or they've gone through my own company, and that's literally tens of thousands of people. Um, we had a lot of people who, with regular maintenance, if the homeowner didn't greet them the right way, they would have a full on meltdown. And these people didn't drive. So you're having to facilitate getting this person off site because the homeowner's upset. The cleaning tech's out front having a meltdown. They're crying. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe this isn't, you're not cut out for this. Maybe there's another option for you. Those types of situations happen. There was, and I probably have mentioned this before, I hired a cleaning tech and we were doing a move out cleaning of my property out in Chino Valley. And I had a lot of things scheduled that day. So I dropped off. This individual did not have a car. So I went into town because I lived in Chino. So that's a 23-mile trek um, on the highway, thank goodness,
Yeah.
to do the move out cleaning of the property that we're living at. And my husband had said something offhanded to him and he got upset. And this person did not want to be on property. My husband didn't want him to be on the property. So I had to go physically, and I was already in town. So I had to drive all the way back out to Chino Valley, pick this person up, and then I had to sit in the car of silence.
Yeah, the awkward.
22 miles, which is like a 15 to 20-minute ride, depending on how fast you're
I'd have
going,
been
right?
reaching over like, I'm just gonna turn this up a
Right. So
little
you
bit.
turn on the radio and there's still silence in the car, and you're just like, so then you're trying to broach the situation, like what happened. And then, then it's always one-sided. And then my husband is bombing my phone, all of this in the 20s,
Oh,
is whatever, right? So I'm like, this is out of control. So it happens. Things like this happen. Or I've had
life.
a cleaning tech who I met them at the property. We walked it. I looked her straight in the face. I said, this is a little more beyond than what we discussed over the phone. Do you need me to get you a second person? Oh, it'll
Oh, the
be
person that says
fine.
yes to
Yeah,
everything.
don't worry. I'm like, are you sure? Because this is like out of a 10. This is like on the specter of like 12, almost 13. We can reschedule this. We'll just charge them a show up fee. You'll still get paid. Oh, no, 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 no. No, don't be silly. Don't be silly, Shannon. You're just overthinking it.
I need them hours. I
Right,
need the money.
right. I need the money. I need the hours. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. So I want to say an hour and a half in because I usually check in at the midway point, usually at lunchtime. Hey, don't forget to take lunch. And she's having a full on meltdown. She just is not capable of finishing the job.
Oh
So
my
she
God.
called me. She left the job. So of
She
course,
called you.
right. She called me, right? So at least I didn't find out from the homeowner, which has also happened.
Oh gosh, that's
Where, then I'm like, oh, hey, I have to call you and let you know that, and I lied. the cleaning tech is not feeling well and is going to be leaving, and I don't have any extra body, so you're going to see my smiling face in about 22 minutes.
Yeah, I'm on my way. Yeah, that's whenever you got to pull up your, I definitely, but I'm also thinking about if it was a bi-weekly or a weekly clean and they just like midway through stop cleaning, nobody knows that they left or anything. How do you know, like
That's when the homeowner calls.
that's whenever the problem, yeah, and boy, you'd have to backpedal like what?
Right. Well,
And
it's
you don't
it's
want to
always
look
shocking.
stupid and just totally caught with your pants down, which you already are. But it's like in that moment, you have to like buck up. That's the time that it's just goes
It's
in the head and
on the
out the
really
mouth.
large ones, the larger houses, and it's not that dirty, but it's a larger house, and then they get overwhelmed, or they got in a fight with their boyfriend. They didn't say anything. Hey, I got in a fight
Exactly.
with my boyfriend, and then you see them in the bathroom if you're working together, and they're in the bathroom like
Well,
50 miles an
yeah,
hour,
texting,
and they're texting back
bad
and forth, and they're
texting.
fighting with each other, and it's going faster and faster and
You're
faster.
like, are you okay? What?
Right. And so then the phone starts ringing and it just becomes this whole dynamic. I've had cleaning
So
techs get in a
no
fist
phone.
fight, like a boyfriend, girlfriend. I've had them get in a fist fight in someone's driveway. That's fun.
Oh, you just like,
The homeowner's like, I don't think I want you coming back. I'm like,
and
yeah,
for
I,
those
I
that you can't see, you're just totally, that emoji where you're like,
right.
uh one eye, one hand over your eye, the other one's like you're looking but you
Over
don't
your
want to look
ear.
away,
Yeah.
and
So
and
those
then that
are
would be
phone
like trying to put
conversations.
your hand into a bad dog fight.
Right. Well, so when you have a cleaning tech that just walks off the job for whatever reason, first of all, it's not professional. Second of
No.
all, we all know that we're human and we cannot walk on water because if we'd be walking on water, we'd be doing other things. And I've only heard about someone walking.
It's
Yeah,
so
not a
much
problem.
improvement. Like I wish I knew about you when I first started this 12 years ago. So
Awesome. Awesome. I love hearing that.
yeah. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Take care. Bye.
You too. Bye.
On water about 3 or 4 times ever in the history of humanity. Is
Exactly.
it 3 or 4 times? I'm trying to remember. There was Peter, and then Jesus did it twice. Maybe it's 3 times. There's got to be a fourth one in there. If you guys know, let me know because I'm a little rusty in my Bible knowledge.
Oh yeah,
In any case, so you have to kind of ponder and you have to have the 10-second pause. I know people have called it other things. So when you have someone that just dumps, they just vomit whatever it is on you, give yourself a chance to like think
process.
before you say anything and say, are you sure they're not in the house just hanging out with, headphones in? I've had that happen where they thought
Yeah,
they left and they were just over there dancing in the
yeah,
mirror, realizing that they're being
bent
watched.
over getting something, yeah. I now that I've had happen, but it was scary.
But as far as walking off the job, sometimes people just get overwhelmed. Sometimes their personal lives leak into their professional lives. Long gone are the days where you just suck it up. Like I came from old school management, and there were times when I was at TGI Fridays. I'm sure I've shared this story before. When my general manager, because I was the assistant general manager, they wanted to force me to quit so they wouldn't have to pay for unemployment. And during those times of trials, is what I called them, I would go in the bathroom and I would cry. And then as soon as I was done crying, because it was mean and awful and all, I can tell you
Yeah,
in detail how hurtful it was, all of the mean things they said. But I was like, I'm not going to quit. And I bucked it up. I pulled up, my bootstrapped it,
yeah.
walked back out with a big old smile on my face, redid my
Wipe your
makeup
face, put my lipsticks back on, my wipe my
because
eyes.
I wasn't going to give them the
Photo.
satisfaction of knowing that they got to me because that's the kind of management, which is not ideal, nor
Where
is it
they're just
professional,
sitting
but women
back
are
with the
catty
eyes
and
like,
we're bitches.
yeah, not into cattiness,
No,
but
not at all.
yeah,
So there's those types of instances, but people's lives spill into their professional lives. And I know that we're just now getting a leg to stand on as I can label us professional. I tell you guys all the time, we are the 23rd trade.
I
And
believe
still
it.
to this day, I signed up for
Believe it.
something and it says list your industry and cleaning is still not there. I'm like,
Well, I just, um, well, I go based off, I'm like, well, fine. Janitorial a lot of the times is.
right.
I guess that's it. Yeah.
We're a bunch with
Even
the janitorial.
even my who's watched my growth, my car salesman. um, because I do there a lot too, but as a commercial account. But he says, they think banks look at you guys like until they he goes, it's all fun and games until they actually see your profit loss.
Right.
Because
That's when I
nobody
say laughing all
guys
the way to the bank.
right, but he had to pull it. He had to pull it for my loan. Yeah,
Right.
that's all fun and games until they see that you're making some pretty good profit, you
Right.
know. But yeah, I could just imagine how would I handle it? So if I got a phone call with a client and said, such and such just left. I watched them walk out of the door and I know they're not done. I know there's still stuff over they were in the middle of the kitchen. It looks like they even left some of their stuff.
Right.
Excuse me, Mr. and Mrs. Client. I'll be right over there to grab it. Maybe they're having a bad day. I'm sure I'll find out about this later. I would apologize immensely. And then obviously, get any keys or whatever you can, of course, handle the situation as the business owner, or have one of your cleaning techs that might be in the area, send
Hmm.
them over to finish the job.
Right.
Or this is a great time to probably have a floater,
Right.
hey, are you available right now? I'll pay you $35 an hour to jump in over here and finish this clean. I don't know why Mrs. Staff member left or
Right.
Mr.
So
Um,
what would happen if you had someone walk off the job, which in the old school days, that was immediate termination, you walked off the job or failure, failed to show up, whatever.
right.
What would
That's
you do if you had someone walk off the job, left the gear there, and you weren't able to go over there because you were busy doing something else? And would you ask the homeowner to leave the stuff outside and give them a free cleaning? What would you do to fix it?
definitely, I would definitely offer free cleaning.
Mhm.
You are not being charged for this.
Today's free,
Today is definitely free. Somebody will be over there, if not me,
right?
as
To
as
pick up
soon
the
as
gear.
possible to pick up the gear.
You wouldn't mind putting it on the front
You
porch as
know,
a free.
because you know, homeowners want you in and out.
Right,
They don't want you lingering. I love great. It's great for content, but homeowners usually like okay. They're looking at their watch like, okay, you know, time to go. I'm ready to have my house back and clean and voila. I know there's some people that absolutely love to do those fine details, but let's be real. The homeowner really wants you in and out. So, I would reschedule another appointment. I'd leave the ball totally probably in the client's hands and say, I can't make it over there right now. This cleaning is definitely for free. If you either A, would like to leave the stuff there where it's at, I can have somebody come over in a couple of hours to pick it up, or if you'd like to put it on the front porch, I'm going to find out a little bit more about what's going on with Mrs. or Mr. staff member, and I'll be in contact with you.
right. What would happen, and then I'm going over the scenario because I've had this
Mhm.
happen. What would happen if you couldn't make it over there, you couldn't get a cleaning tech over there to pick up the gear, and they wanted it out of their house and they tossed it from the front door onto the front lawn and it was raining? What would you do then?
Oh, no. You obviously obviously the relationship has soured.
Right.
You're not being
There's
charged
no
for the
forgiving it,
day.
right?
Thank you. Thank you. You know, that's where you're just your pride aside, you gotta go over there and pick it all up.
Right.
Or if the team member had to go over and pick it up, and they would call me right away. Oh my gosh, Jamie, you wouldn't believe it. Da 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 da. Mr. and Mrs. Client just tossed everything everywhere. I would take pictures so that we can document it. And boy, this could go all back because then they could leave a 1-star review, you know.
Right. You gotta
But
go.
you are allowed to respond to that. And just like you said, take a minute because honestly, you almost want to take that vacuum in there and go, oh yeah, and empty
She's
it out.
lassoing it into the air for those of
Yeah,
you who are not
you
watching.
want to empty out your vacuum, whatever dog hairs you got up, and just empty it back in. But we don't do that.
No, that's it. I've seen some
Professional.
extreme videos of stuff like that from people who didn't get paid, but we're not that way. We
No,
strive to be professionals. So I
super
have had
professional.
that happen where someone
Ugh,
we had to pull off the job for whatever reason, did not grab their gear, and they threw it out in the rain. And we have monsoons. We've had a lot of monsoons this year.
yeah, you guys
And
do.
it just threw the vacuums. There's two vacuums. There's an Oric and a Hoover Porter vac. Tossed him out, threw all of the rags all over the front yard, all like intentionally dumped out all of the gear, threw all of the spray bottles, disassembled them,
Oh,
all
you
of the
just threw it.
chemical, it
They
was all
just
empty. So the
literally
person
threw
had
a
a fit, right? Because they were being inconvenienced. And I get that, but
yeah,
that's extreme behavior, right?
right?
So that subsequently was the end of our relationship. I have seen that individual a couple of times since then. She kind of remembers me, but not really. I've also had it where this is where the code of conduct started to kind of come into
Or
revolution, so to speak,
yeah,
or evolution, not revolution. The we had you guys have all heard me talk about Rebecca. Rebecca was a very sweet human being. And I've mentioned her before. Her mom was dying of breast cancer, and I didn't even know until like her mom was like on death's door. And I'm like, she never said anything to anyone. And we took on, this is why we don't do nighttime cleanings anymore. I went and did a bid, and it was sunset. So I didn't see all, have I told you this story?
I don't, I felt maybe, but
Maybe. So
I'll tell
I
you.
go and I do the bid, and I'm not seeing what I should be seeing because it's dark in the house and it's the sun
I hate
is
it
set.
when that happens. Yeah,
Right.
you shot
And so
yourself
we
in the
get
foot.
there, I think the following day or the day after, I send a crew of 3 in, and I go to check on them because I have a weird feeling. And it's right around the corner from my office at the time. So I just jetted up the hill. It was like a 2-minute drive. I said, hey, just came to check. And the person had tried to work in an extra room that wasn't discussed and wanted the downstairs done for the same price. And the cleaning techs are like, they just want to please, right? Okay, right. So
Yes.
then I start to see, because it's daylight now. I can kind of see she had gone up to poor Rebecca and she had started yelling at her about how slow she was moving and how incompetent she was, and a couple of other inappropriate things. And the mommy bear button got pushed.
Yeah.
And I lost my temper. I like legitimate, and you have to push me really
Yeah. Yeah.
hard before I snap. Because I'll give people a really long, I'll just keep throwing the rope out there, keep
Yeah.
going,
There you
going.
go.
But when I go, that's it. There's no coming. Shannon has to have time by herself.
Oops.
I have to decompress. There's a whole.
Yeah.
So she started yelling at Rebecca. I found Rebecca in the corner and I said, what happened? And she's like, she said some derogatory things about her size because she was a big woman. She was like 5'10" and curvy. And then a couple of other derogatory things about her being stupid and a couple of other things. And I swear to God, the other 2 employees were like, they all watched this go. And this is when they weren't driving to the job themselves. I was dropping them off and picking them up, and because they were like legitimately right around the corner.
Right. Right. Right.
So we're in the car, and they were like, there was a moment of like silence, and we get in the car, and they're like, "What, Shannon? You kicked ass! Damn, you are the best boss I have ever
Yeah.
fucking had." Blah 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 blah
I
blah
love
blah.
it.
And
Oh,
I'm like, I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed for my behavior. I'm embarrassed I
because
lost
it's
my temper.
like you're a leader, right? You're a
I'm not your
leader.
boss. That was bad behavior. I don't condone this. I don't condone this. I don't
Don't
condone
you ever
this. And they're like slapping high five because we're in the Volvo station wagon, right? They're like, that was awesome. I have never seen that happen because the woman and I got in a full on verbal altercation about her cheating and blah blah blah. So needless to say, we left gear behind and I refused to go back. I had to because I was so like hot over. My husband had to go back and get it because I was afraid that I was gonna say something more to her. And this was like I want to say this was probably like 10 years ago. But yeah, I lost my temper. I'm embarrassed about the things I said and how I behaved. It wasn't my most special highlighted moment of being a manager of a crew. And needless to say, I just snapped. I was just like,
Yeah. No, I understand, but that's also whenever this whole some policies, yeah, that's
lots of
whenever
policies were put in place.
it's, um, it shaped you into what you are today
Right.
a little
That was
bit
the start of
better,
the code of
you know? It
conduct.
made you a better person, how to handle yourself better, how to, tell people not to do that, and, at the end of the day, you were probably, your cleaning tech's heroes. You're their hero.
Embarrassingly enough. But yeah, I just Rebecca was the nicest person ever.
Like,
Um,
how could you? How could you even talk to her like that? I
right.
know.
And I just lost it. And it was embarrassing. And I ended up running into this person a couple other towns because I live in a small town. And we can imagine the interesting conversation that we had when we reunited, so to speak. I did not apologize for my behavior. And she didn't apologize for her, but we kind of understood.
Kind of a
Right.
truce.
And then because of her, because she was a referral, I ended up losing two other clients because she went around bad mouthing me in town. And I was like, just stick it where the sun doesn't shine because I
Yeah,
don't ever want to
because
do
we
business
really
with
know
you.
how you are.
Right. So the moral of the story is we came up with a code of conduct. That policy was like that was the start of that. We came up to if you have an emergency on site, that there's a protocol for that. That should be in your SOPs.
Oh, that, yeah.
So if you have an emergency with the protocol, you need to call the office first. You need to try to remember to grab your gear. Because we all have kids, right? We all have emergencies. Husbands have heart attacks. There's things happen. So that was a policy that came into fruition after these little episodes that I'm mentioning. Um, the policy of having your own vehicle was set in stone after the last episode with the gentleman who I had to drive back from Chino Valley back into Prescott. That was like I can't. Like, what can I do to change this? And that was the end all be all. And let's be honest,
And then
the
you
workforce was a
still
little
grew.
different then, and they didn't have a driver's license. There was things going on in their record. I get it, but
Yeah,
I just decided that was the catalyst. That was the moment that I changed the policy that they had to have their own vehicle, and if they didn't have their own vehicle, they couldn't work for Shannon because I wasn't driving people around.
right. No, that's one of the very first things that it asked in my employment, and I use job form. I
Mhm.
should say Sarah does job form for me and has constructed, of course, I've signed off on it,
Right.
but, and that do you have a vehicle? Do you have this amount of insurances? Um, yeah, we have to, you, there should be some red flags for, the build up to this point of them walking out, I
Mhm.
would say, and I think intuition plays a lot in with that to not ignore your gut
Mhm.
on that. And if there's a cleaning tech, I feel that you see going off to the side, there's some sort of build up there. Definitely either have a cleaning tech or yourself go in and check on the homes that they have been doing. We don't have to say anything like, "Hey, we're checking on your house." We don't have to say anything, just, um, after they're done, I feel like there should be some red flags that we could be looking for before that actually gets there to that point of them just
And there was a policy
completely.
after the lady threw all the stuff out in the gear. Like if a cleaning tech leaves something behind, please call the office immediately so that we can take it off your hands. We appreciate that. And
Oh, yeah.
if you do not put the if you decide to put it on your front porch and it's raining and it gets ruined, I will bill you for it. Kind of in a very legal, like polite manner. Thankfully, the only thing that really gets left behind are like spray bottles nowadays, but no vacuums. No one, for the most part, I haven't had, knock on wood,
Mops. I've
I
had
haven't had
so many
people,
mops.
we've lost mops and high dusters, and the customers usually just keep them because they're like, look, I got this fancy
Oh,
paper
yeah.
mop, right?
Well, this is
And they
what the
can just write it off.
professionals use.
Right.
Mhm.
So you
Yeah.
just kind of, so there's policies in place that happened because of these incidences. So don't go, oh my God, that's just wild, Shannon. I can't believe, blah, blah, blah. But in
Oh, yeah.
reality, that's that's what's going on. There's just people have a threshold for tolerance, and then they don't have, after they hit that certain point, they just snap and that's it. So yeah, those are the three policies I can think of off the top of my head. It says it in it when I had employees, it said, if you need to pull off the job for any reason, the office needs to be notified. If you have an emergency, you need to state what the emergency is, blah, blah, blah. Do you understand that you are not to leave the job until the job is finished? If you cannot complete said job, blah, 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 blah. And you can go to ChatGPT and write up something, I'm sure.
Oh,
Um,
you guys, I know it's been around forever, but I'm just now like,
Amy's getting on the bandwagon.
oh, oh, it can. I just was like, oh, you're the business owner. This is exactly how you're the business owner of Above All Cleaning Services. What would you do? Well, how did I put it? When your cleaner quits midday, and how, as Above All Cleaning Services, as the owner, would you handle the
What
situation?
does ChatGPT say?
And let me tell you, immediate response, stay calm.
Do not panic. Do not run with your hands in the air.
Do not react emotionally. Thank the employee for the work they did up to that point. Well, what if they don't talk to you? What if they just
You can reach
clarify
out to them. That should be
logistics?
something that's addressed too.
You make sure that you get keys, supplies, uniforms, all the codes that you've given out, assess the coverage, quickly decide if the unfinished job can be covered by you personally, covered by another team member, rescheduled the client, communicate with the client, the short-term fix, the next 24 to 48 hours. That's what it says right here. Reassign workload, step in as the business owner, document the exit. So remember to call, I'm telling you guys, I'm going through this. Document everything. I gave up. I could have fought it, but I did not. Um, and because I wasn't 100% sure if I let somebody go properly. So I just, according to California laws,
Right.
you
She
know.
has a lot to deal with there. There's a lot
So
of bells and
I did
whistles.
not fight it. I'm like, I did. So this is where properly documenting everything, even if it's on a piece of paper. I do have
If
an
you have an iPhone, you can go right into notes and document it. And what I recommend, if you
so
have to
easy
document it, is that you do it right then and there in your car, because what will happen is you'll get home,
to
you'll start to cook
forget.
dinner, and then you're like, well, did that really happen? Did that not really happen? So if you do it right
Yes,
then
you
and there,
second guess yourself, or you're like, okay.
because
You know what
it's
I'm saying?
stressful.
You guys end up talking and you're like, all right,
Right.
because you're a nice person, and they could be just not the best employee ever, and you're still like, you give in because I'm not heartless. And it's like, you hear the sob story, I got 13 people that I got to take care of, and but the long-term system, to this one I like because Some of these I have policies in place, but this third one I probably need to work on long-term systems to prevent disruptions. Cross training,
Mhm.
training all your cleaners. Now, this I do have. Train all your cleaners so anyone can step in if needed.
Right.
I have, again, you guys hear me say a lot. I have a commercial and residential um cleaning business, and a more male geared towards the commercial side because they like to work night. I don't know. Women like to make things shiny and pretty in the house, and commercial, it's two totally different entities. However, I will tell you that Chris does know both sides. And if absolute need be, he'd be like Igor, okie dokie, and be right over.
I
He'd be
love
right
Chris.
over. And but have an on-call pool. So build a roster of part-time or backup cleaners available for last minute jobs. This is why you're constantly hiring.
Mhm.
I made sure to add this onto my website, and I just did it this year. I am reconstructing how I do things because I'm in a different growth spurt than I was from, you know, 0 to 150,000 era. Now I'm in a different era. So I told my VA, Sarah, that I want to build a constant funnel so I can pull out of that. Now, this is why this person made me learn this, is that because I was left scrambling.
Mhm.
Hi, now hiring now, freaking out. And
Right.
so now I have this nice stream of applicants. Um, and there's like keywords in there that it'll bounce it out if they're not a fit for our company. So I'm doing I'm rebuild. I got a nice little pool. I'm been constantly doing interviews, filling out people, making sure that they're are they a good, are they in a line with my company culture?
Right. That's really important. I
Yeah,
can't
it really,
emphasize that
really
enough.
is. And these are not things that I was looking at. Gosh, probably not even, I don't know, 7, 8 months ago, you know? But now I'm in a position to where these are what matters to me, and I'm not trying to just build some fly-by-night cleaning company. I really truly am trying to build a legacy here. So I do have to, you got to step in uh, retention practices, conduct exit interviews when possible. Exit interviews.
We could do a whole podcast on exit
Oh,
interviews.
that's
I've had
what
interesting things said to me over the
what
years.
led you to leave so suddenly? This gives insight to improve training, workload, or communication. Policy and handbook have a clear resignation procedure requiring at least X amount of days of notice reinforced during onboarding. So there's some things that I got to work on. I do have
Doesn't
it
mean
in
they'll follow it though. They'll be like, stick it.
my, sometimes I'm like, oh, I have that in there. So this is number 4 is the leadership mindset. Unexpected resignation, test your leadership. The key is protect the client relationship first and foremost.
That's your bread and butter.
Yeah. Stabilize operations second, review internal systems last to prevent it from happening again.
Exactly.
I love it. So you guys, whenever you I, that chat GPT, I feel
It's
so
it's
brand new.
new and
I
shiny to
know.
her, so she's like, "Yeah, look at this." I
Wow.
think it's awesome.
So yeah, it really does. It's
Great tool.
especially for helping run your business.
Mhm.
And then we can get to broadcast it to you guys. And Shannon has real life scenarios way before an event. Facebook and all that stuff. That's what I just love is the true grit of the
Right.
industry for real.
More than
The
likely, I've
yellow
experienced
pages,
it.
and I mean this is all kind of still new.
Right.
All fairly new. The Facebook and then this and then that. And so yeah, you have the true grit behind all of that and making these policies as you went along, way before how getting the convenience of asking Chat GPT, you know, or
God, can you imagine where we'd be if we had ChatGPT 15 years ago? Oh my God, we'd be like way up there.
yeah, like with flying cars, meet
Right.
the Jetsons.
So those are some things to cover to consider should you have a cleaning tech walk off the job in the middle of their house. It just know that people have emergencies, things happen. You would like to believe that they would conduct themselves in a professional manner, but sometimes we're just not capable because of whatever's going on in our personal lives. The whole point is not to take it personally. It's just business.
Right,
When you're dealing, and we're still, and I know I say this all the time and I'm on my soapbox, we are a human based industry. We have humans who are
right.
customers, we have cleaning techs who are humans. When
They
you have
don't
that many
want it
humans
so
together, things
systemized
happen.
either. They want, I mean, yes, we have that system in place, yes, but they love that human connection
Mhm.
with this that goes along with running this type of business. And
And I don't think the robots will be able to take over quite so easily as everyone anticipates. I believe they're starting to launch those out next year. I want to get someone on the show who actually has them for sale and talk to them about where they see this going, because I think it would be interesting for us as a
Mhm.
collective to
Yeah,
see where the industry's going. There's a lot of stuff, definitely.
yeah, no, good
I think
time.
that kind of covers it all. What do you think?
Yeah, I absolutely love it. I love it. And if you have gotten any knowledge or any, if you continue to like this, go ahead and leave us a 5-star review. We would much appreciate it. Um, Shannon,
Definitely.
yeah, we also do the Maids Network over on Facebook. Just a bunch of people that come together and help all of each other. It's a
Right. There's
great
like
group.
over 6,000 cleaning business owners in.
It's great. Yeah, it's great. It's great to see where our industry's going. And the collaboration of it all
Mhm.
with all of us is just I love this industry. Um, and this is gonna be our life. So anyways, appreciate everything. Appreciate
From
you
me
guys.
to you to Bob Ross.
Bob Ross. I love Bob Ross.
It's good to see you. Bye.
Yeah.